Level 1. Enlisted Recruit. You are 18 years old. You stand barefoot in the yellow footprints outside the Recruit Receiving Center at Fort Benning, Georgia, the summer heat pressing down like a weight on your shoulders. Your civilian clothes are gone, replaced by a stiff set of fatigues that smell of starch and mothballs. The Army expects you to endure basic combat training. 12 weeks of drills, runs, and obstacle courses designed to break civilians into soldiers. You fire your first rounds from an M4 rifle at pop-up targets on the range, learning to low-crawl through mud under simulated fire. You earn $1,200 a month, barely enough to cover the phone calls home to your mother, who works 2 jobs as a nurse, making half that in tips and overtime. Your power is minimal, a shared bunk and a drill sergeant's nod when you qualify on the rifle range. But others in your platoon start looking to you during night watches, calling you steady for not folding on the 5-mile ruck marches. The threat looms in every push-up. Injury from a twisted ankle on the confidence course, or washing out entirely if you crack under the sleep deprivation, sent back to civilian life with nothing but a bus ticket. You lose your first taste of freedom. Weeks without letters, no weekends, your high school girlfriend's voice fading on those rare calls. Innocence slips away as you shave your head and swear the oath, realizing the world outside feels distant already. One night, after a brutal land navigation exercise where you lead your squad through dense woods for 6 miles in the dark, the drill sergeant pulls you aside. Your performance earns a recommendation for advanced training. You ship out to infantry school at Fort Moore, stepping towards something sharper. Level 2. Infantryman. You are 19 years old. You patrol the dusty trails of Fort Irwin, California. During a rotation at the National Training Center, your boots kicking up sand as you hump a 60-pound rucksack through mock urban terrain. Camo paints your face, and the weight of your M24 rifle digs into your shoulder. The system demands you become a rifleman. Endless patrols, urban combat drills, and live fire exercises where you clear rooms in plywood mock-ups, calling out threats to your fire team. You learn to call in 9-line medevac requests after simulated ambushes. Pay bumps to $2,000 a month, enough to send 300 home each payday, more than your father's factory wage back in Ohio, where he clocks 40 hours for less. Symbols emerge. Your blue infantry cord worn on dress uniform, and squad mates slapping your back after a flawless squad attack, treating you like the guy who won't quit when the platoon gets smoked for errors. You afford a used pickup truck off base, parked outside the barracks like a badge. Danger sharpens, friendly fire accidents during night ops or heat exhaustion dropping you mid-hump, rivals and other platoons testing you in sparring sessions that leave bruises. One wrong move in a live fire lane, and a ricochet ends it. Family strains, holidays missed for deployments, your sister's wedding photos arriving by mail while you're pulling guard duty, sleep fractures into 4-hour shifts, eroding the boy who once slept through thunderstorms. A firefight simulation goes live when a training grenade malfunctions, singeing your arm but saving your buddy from a worse hit. Your quick thinking gets you tabbed for airborne school. You board the plane at Fort Benning, wings waiting. Level 3, Paratrooper. You are 20 years old. You sit in the C-130. Hercules aircraft circling over the drop zone at Fort Liberty, North Carolina. Wind howling through the open ramp as you hook up your static line. Heart pounding against your parachute harness. Expectations harden. Qualify as a paratrooper with 5 jumps, then integrate into the 82nd Airborne Division, ready for rapid assaults, rappelling from Blackhawks, securing airfields in hours. You pack your own chute, checking risers for the 100th time. $3,000 monthly now flows in, covering rent on a small apartment off-post and a new set of boots. Luxury compared to the communal showers of basic, where your old man back home still pinches pennies for gas. Power shows and the jump wings sewn above your pocket, paratroopers nodding respect in the chow line, and you buying rounds at the enlisted club. Stories of jumps drawing crowds. Your Ford F-150 gleams, waxed after every polish. Threats multiply. A tangled canopy on jump week could snap your neck mid-fall, or bar fights with mechanized infantry turning ugly, betrayal from a hungover jumper who forgets to hook up. You sacrifice weekends. Airborne status means constant readiness, no lazy Sundays. Letters home dwindle as missions pull you away, your identity blurring into the scream of jump masters. Go! During a night jump, wind shears your squad's formation, but you rally them on the ground, navigating 2 miles back to rally point. Command selects you for Ranger School. You report to Fort Moore, the tab in sight. Level 4. Ranger. You are 21 years old. You crawl through the swamps of Camp Rudder, Georgia. During Ranger Assessment and Selection Program, leeches sucking at your neck as rain soaks your ruck, weighing 50 pounds of ammo and water. Mosquitoes swarm in the humid dark. The Rangers expect total endurance. 61 days of patrols, ambushes, and leadership rotations where you plan raids on mock enemy positions, starving on one meal a day while evading enemy patrols. You lead a squad ambush, whispering coordinates over the radio. $4,500 a month sustains you, enough for a down payment on a motorcycle, far beyond your parents' combined income from the auto shop, where they scrape by on repairs. Your tan beret becomes the symbol, Rangers in the battalion saluting your scroll after graduation, and you wear the black scarf on ops, others deferring to your fire team lead calls. The bike roars outside the Ranger compound. Risk escalates, hypothermia in the mountains, or a stress fracture from 20-mile runs sidelining you. Internal rivalries flare in sleep-deprived arguments, one slip-up dooming a patrol and your career. Human toll mounts. Ranger School steals 2 months of life. Bridges burned with civilian friends who don't understand the scars. Family visits cancel. Your brother's birth you witness only in a grainy video call. Identity hardens into fatigue-lined eyes. You graduate earning the tab, but during a live fire demo, you shield a teammate from stray rounds. Your actions flag you for Special Forces assessment. You pack for Fort Liberty, the Q course calling. Level 5. SF candidate. You're 22 years old. You hike the 14-mile land nav course at Camp McCall, North Carolina, during Special Forces assessment and selection, compass in hand, pushing through pine thickets with a 30-pound ruck, no sleep for 36 hours. Blisters bleed into your socks. Selection tests your limits. Psychological evals, team events where you carry logs across streams, and peer reviews that can eliminate you if the group votes no. The system wants unbreakable operators, survival skills, language aptitude, and the will to lead in chaos. Pay holds at $5,000 with jump status, but selection bonuses promise more. Enough to buy a house down payment, dwarfing your father's lifetime savings in Rust Belt factories. No symbols yet, just the candidate patch, but peers whisper respect during peer counseling sessions, treating you as the anchor when others quit. You eye a tactical watch. First real upgrade? Threats intensify. Rhabdomyolysis from overexertion dropping you mid-event, or selection board rejection after a failed star navigation. Betrayal stings when a teammate rats out your exhaustion. Costs deepen. Marriage on hold. Your fiancé's letters pleading for normalcy. Innocence gone, replaced by the gnaw of doubt during solo nav, where getting lost means failure. Sleep? A luxury rationed to 4 hours. You pass SFS, selected for the Q course. One event seals it. You navigate a team through a night op under fire simulation. You enter the pipeline at Fort Liberty, transformation beginning. Level 6, Green Beret Weapons Sergeant. You are 24 years old. You train Afghan commandos in the Hindu Kush Mountains, assigned to Operational Detachment. Alpha 305, 0500 hours, 0 degrees, teaching them to zero AK-47s on rocky outcrops while scanning for Taliban spotters. Snow dusts your plate carrier. As an 18 Bravo, you specialize direct action raids, foreign internal defense, advising partners on heavy weapons like D-shacks and mortars, calling in close air support during village clears. You maintain the team's sniper rifles, zeroing optics at 500 meters. $7,000 monthly with hazard pay, funding a cabin in Montana, more than your entire family's annual income back when you enlisted, now a distant memory. The Green Beret crowns you, team members deferring to your weapons calls on missions, locals in Kabul offering tea as the American expert. You wear a custom K-bar knife, sheath worn from use, danger peaks, IEDs on mountain trails, or partner betrayal leaking your position. A misplaced round in training kills an advisor. Your mistake haunting briefings. Government oversight tightens post-missions. You lose touch. Divorce papers arrive via sat phone. Kids' faces blurring in photos. Identity fractures. The farm boy buried under kill counts and after-action reports. Nights haunted by what-ifs. A raid in Helmand goes south, but your quick demo of an enemy position saves the team. Promotion to staff sergeant follows. You rotate to team sergeant, leading the 12-man ODA. Level 7, Team Sergeant. You are 27 years old. You orchestrate a direct action raid in Syria from a forward operating base near Al-Tanf, coordinating with Delta operators, your laptop mapping infill routes while drones hum overhead. Dust storms choke the air. The detachment leans on you. Manage logistics for cross-border ops, mentor weapons and medics, lead after-action reviews where you dissect failures in captured ISIS compounds. You plan extractions, timing Chinooks to the minute. $9,000 a month with combat increments. Buying a ranch outright? Wealth your parents never dreamed. Their social security checks a fraction now. Authority solidifies. The team calls you top, saluting your council in TOC meetings. Brass from Bragg seeks your input on training. Your Humvee sports custom plates? A quiet flex. Threats compound? Capture by Wagner mercenaries or cyber leaks exposing your family. Internal burnout leads to a teammate's suicide watch. Your oversight the blame. Accidents in freefall jumps scar permanently. Family evaporates. Second marriage crumbles under absences. Children's graduations marked by empty chairs. Sleep evades replaced by 3-hour cycles laced with flashbacks. Who you were fades. You lead a high-value target snatch that neutralizes a cell leader. Selection board eyes you for warrant officer. You apply. Warrants bars awaiting at Fort Liberty. Level 8. Chief Warrant Officer. You are 30 years old. You advise a Joint Special Operations Task Force in Djibouti, Horn of Africa, from a tented HQ, plotting counter-pirate ops across the Gulf of Aden, satellites feeding intel on Dow movements 200 miles out. Salt air clings to your flight suit. As a chief warrant, you specialize in aviation ops. Pilot MH-60 Blackhawks for night insertions, train pilots on NVG approaches, integrate air assets into ground raids. You log 100 flight hours monthly, rotors thumping over desert dunes. $12,000 annually adjusted for overseas, affording a beach house in Florida. Legacy wealth, outstripping generations of your kin's labor. Wings and warrants mark you, task force commanders consulting your flight plans. Pilots salute your experience. You fly a personal Cessna stateside, sky's your domain. Risks globalize. SAM missiles over Yemen, or engine failure ditching you in the sea. Politics shift, budgets cut mid-tour, stranding assets. Betrayal from Allied intel rings hollow. Toll absolute. PTSD diagnoses stack. Therapy sessions via video. Identity? A call sign now. Reaper 2, the man who enlisted a ghost. Family? Estranged calls on birthdays. A helo crash lands during exfil, but you get the crew out. Promotion to Battalion Ops Sergeant Major follows. You take the helm at higher echelons. Level 9, the fall. You are 35 years old. You command a Special Operations Battalion from Fort Liberty's Ops Center, screens flickering with feeds from Ukraine advisors. But a whistleblower leak exposes black site interrogations, your signature on the orders. Rain lashes the windows as feds swarm the gate. The system unravels you. Testify before Congress on enhanced methods, face courts martial for chain of command lapses, your legacy dissected in headlines. You brief lawyers instead of teams, medals boxed away. Pensions slashed to $4,000 monthly, house foreclosed. Fortune evaporated, less than your recruit pay adjusted for inflation, family aid drying up. Power inverts. Former subordinates avoid your gaze at hearings, beret stripped, treated as the cautionary tale in briefings. Your Cessna, repossessed. Threat ultimate. Prison in Leavenworth for 20 years, or suicide in the garage. Betrayal from old team members turning state's evidence, your mistake the op that went viral. Everything lost, freedom, name, the boy in yellow footprints. Isolation complete, letters from kids unsigned, identity erased in orange jumpsuits. Sleep? Iron-barred nightmares. The cycle restarts. Outside a recruiting office in Benning, another 18-year-old stands in civilian clothes, eyeing the poster of Green Berets. There's always another set of footprints waiting to be filled.